Welcome, everyone. We are so thrilled today to have a special guest. His name is Jacob. And how do I pronounce your last name? Roig?
Yes,
Look at that. I got it
well
right.
done.
And Jacob is from San Francisco, the San Francisco area. He's a coach, he's a trainer, he's an instructor. And I love the name of your company, Jacob. New Level Coaching. Wow. It sounds like you do team building and executive coaching and business consulting, pricing strategy, and so on. You're a well experienced man, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So, one of the thoughts I had for today to talk to you about is I noticed on your profile is that you are a teacher and an instructor of fire walking.
Yes,
So
I am.
let's start with that. I've always been intrigued by it. I remember years ago watching Anthony Robbins. I think he was one who kind of made it famous, right? Maybe I'm not sure, but I remember watching him and going, "Wow, that looks so fascinating." So tell us about fire walking and how what you do in that type of program, and then how it's kind of like an analogy for life, if you will.
Yeah, it sure is. I got into it and I became an instructor through the same teacher that taught Tony Robbins and T. Harv Eker and most of the people that would teach it now. I was his last class, and he lives about 3 hours from here. His name's Tali Burkan. And so I got into it through a T. Harv Eker event back in 2000. And you didn't know what was going to happen. And so they were in a place and he's building us up and we're getting energized and there's 200 people and we're all fired up. And then we go outside and see this wood stacked up like long. and he started it on fire and the whole thing. Tonight we're walking on hot coals. And I was like, oh my God, like what did I get into? So we go out and it was 24 feet or 8 meters, right? So
That's
it's
long.
it's long. And I'm in line. I'm about 15 people in line, and I'm seeing visually picturing my legs burned to the knees, me falling into it, being blistered beyond recognition, like morbid things are going through my mind. But I'm still in line and I'm seeing other people walk. And as I see more people walk, I'm like still scared, but I get there. So you get to the little patch of grass and there's somebody to receive you at the other end, and you get yourself ready and you say, I'm ready. And then the instructor would say, okay, start whenever you're ready, start walking. And I'm just about ready to take a step. And there's a hand on my chest and it's T. Harv Eker. And he's like me, I'm a short person, but he has a really loud, deep voice. And he goes, hold it, fresh coals. and they bring wheelbarrows full of hot coals and they put them back on. And I'm like, oh my God, it's even worse, until I realized it's the same heat that was there before. It's just
Mm,
fresh.
yeah.
And then I walked, and it was this amazing experience egotistically. It was like I was on top of the world, like, oh my God, I can't believe I walked this. I didn't get burned, And then I went back to my business and trying to shorten this up. It was my first business. My assistant walks in, it's Monday morning, and her eyes are this big, and she says, we got a big problem. And I immediately thought, 2 days ago, I walked 24 feet on hot coals. That was a problem. This will be nothing. And I went, ooh, there's a lesson in this. And
Yeah.
that's what got me inspired to teach other people, because I used it. And when you walk a fire, it's about raising your energy level up to the problem. If you raise your energy level up to the problem or beyond, you will always get through the problem because you will meet it head on with focus. And the thing with firewalking is you commit to it. And as soon as you start, you don't stop until you're done. You don't stop, take a selfie, you will get burned. But that was the lesson. And nobody was teaching the lesson beyond the experience.
Ah.
And that's the difference that I do when I do an event, is I teach you 14 different experiences,
Mm.
or however many we're doing. Sometimes I'll do a company event and we only do a few experiences, but each experience is different. So I teach people how to walk on fire, how to break boards, how to break bricks, how to walk on broken glass, how to break arrows with your throat, no protection. Two people bend 8 feet of rebar with their throats, not touching it, together. I teach these how to do it, and they're all hugely scary experiences, but they have a huge lesson in different types of problems that show up in our life. You know, speaking with Raj, and Raj said, you know, life is sometimes difficult, and it is. And there's different types of problems that show up, and there's different techniques you can use. Firewalking is big problem. Breaking a board, small problem. You pinpoint focus, and if you follow through, you will always break the board. So yeah, that's why I got into it.
So I'm curious. You made a statement. I think I wrote it down correctly. What you're doing is what you have to do when you have a challenge like that is you have to raise your energy level to meet the problem. So
Yes.
how do you do that? So before you walk the fire, what are they doing to you? What is inspiring you, or how are they preparing you to walk the fire?
Yeah, well, I will be talking to you about the dangers that are prevalent, that are relevant, and
Okay.
because it is dangerous.
Yeah.
I what I'm doing is making sure that you understand what this is, that this potentially is a big problem. And if you don't approach it with full commitment and full focus, you will not
Ah,
get through this problem uninjured.
okay.
And so with any problem in life, a huge problem, like I had a huge one, you know, recently with my wife. She had a double lung transplant. That's a big, huge problem. That's life or death.
Yeah, wow.
And you have to face it with a complete different mindset than you would being in a traffic accident and having to solve the problem of getting your car fixed, and you know, whatever it is. That's a whole different problem.
Hmm.
Same thing with business owners. We experience different levels of problems, and these techniques do that. So what you do is I'm helping you address, here's the issues at hand, here's how you can rise above it and deal with it and address it, and here's what you have to do. So
Yeah.
while I'm sharing with you the reality, if you're not focused, that you could be injured, burned, you know, and it's not like you're going to be maimed for life. People do get burned occasionally, but statistically in firewalks, it's like 1 out of every 25,000 people
Oh.
experience a form of a burn. And
Hmm.
there's a pressure point technique that will eliminate burns overnight, pretty much. Um,
Mm.
Maybe not 100% disappear, but if you have a blister, it will be gone and it'll just be pink skin. The burn is
Mm.
gone overnight. It's amazing.
Wow.
Um,
An
but you
acupressure
raise,
point.
yeah, you
Yeah.
raise your energy level up to the problem.
Right.
And if you need help with that, you get help. Like as an instructor, what I do is I get you, you know, I have to get you up and get you moving a little bit, and then I'll do some forms of chanting sometimes, and
Ah.
everybody participates, because everybody that's going to walk, you're either going to be there or I'm not going to let you walk my fire.
Mm.
And the hardest thing to do is to be at a fire walk and not walk it when you know you're not ready, because everyone else is walking.
Oh, yeah.
Your ego is saying I should be walking.
Hmm.
But the hardest thing to do is to not walk. I've had over 100, probably 25 walks in my life, and I've only been burned once.
Mm.
And it was in an advanced training I was taking, and it was very cold out, and I was done. I walked 10 times that night. And I
Mm.
was done, and everyone else kept walking, and my ego said, you should walk one more time. And I'm like, no, I'm good. You should walk. No, I'm good. okay, I'll walk one more time. And that's when I got burned. So it's
Ah,
like, if
right.
you don't listen to your, or again, a good study, listen to your intuition, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it talks to us.
Absolutely. Wow. What a phenomenal experience to undergo what, for ourselves, and then how we can use that in our lives is really something.
Yeah.
So, Raj, what if we were to cut the recording here, and then we'll do another recording for the analogies to life? How does that feel? Yeah. Thank you, Jacob. We'll see you in a
Okay.
minute.
Thank you.
Maybach music. Can anybody out there hear me? Hear me?